This is a story about power, a family that controlled an entire corner of America for almost a century. Judges, prosecutors, politicians, they were untouchable. They were the law. And then they became the criminals. This is the story of the Murdaugh family, a dynasty that killed to survive. A man stands in a courtroom. His hands are shaking. His eyes are wet. He is wearing a suit that costs more than most people make in a month. He is the heir to a legal empire. He has spent his entire life surrounded by judges, lawyers, and the power of the law. But today, the law is not on his side. Today, the law is coming for him. His name is Alex Murdaugh, and he is about to be sentenced for murder. The Murdaugh family, in South Carolina's Low Country, they were royalty. For 4 generations, they ran the 14th Circuit Solicitor's Office. They decided who went to prison and who walked free. They controlled the courts, the police, the juries. They were the law, and they protected their own, no matter what. Alex was born into this power. He was a Murdaugh. He was destined to be a prosecutor, a judge, a kingmaker, and for a long time, he was. He was charming, confident. He could walk into any courtroom and own it. But charm is not always what it seems. Behind the smile, there was something else, something dark, something hungry. Alex Murdaugh had a secret. He was addicted to opioids, oxycodone, thousands of dollars worth, every week. The addiction started after a traumatic boating accident in 2010. A friend was paralyzed. Alex was in the boat. The guilt ate him alive. And the pills, they made it go away. For a little while. But the addiction grew, and grew, and grew, until it consumed everything. His family knew about the addiction. His wife Maggie, his sons Paul and Buster, they covered for him. They protected him, because that's what Murdaughs do. They protect each other, no matter what. But the addiction, it was not just destroying Alex. It was destroying everyone around him, and no one knew just how far he would go to protect it. February 24th, 2019. A warm night in South Carolina. Paul Murdaugh, Alex's 22-year-old son, was out with friends. They were on a boat, the family boat, 17 feet long, small, fast, dangerous. Paul was drunk, very drunk. His blood alcohol level was nearly 3 times the legal limit. He took the wheel, he sped down the waterway, with 5 other people on board, and he crashed. The boat slammed into a bridge piling at 50 miles per hour. The impact was violent, instant, devastating. Bodies flew, glass shattered, screams cut through the night. When it was over, everyone survived, except one person, Mallory Beach, 19 years old, a beautiful girl with her whole life ahead of her. She was thrown from the boat. Her body was found 8 days later. Paul Murdaugh survived. He walked away from the wreck, and he walked away from the girl he killed. He was charged with boating under the influence. He faced up to 25 years in prison. But the Murdaugh family, they closed ranks. They used their power, their connections, their money. They delayed the trial. They fought every piece of evidence. And for 2 years, Paul stayed free. But the crash, it had consequences. Consequences that no one could have predicted. Mallory Beach's family, they wanted justice. They hired an attorney, a man named Mark Tinsley. He was not a Murdaugh. He was not from the Low Country. He was from the outside, and he was not afraid. Tinsley filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Paul Murdaugh, against Alex Murdaugh, against the entire family. He demanded accountability, and the Murdaughs, they fought back. But Tinsley, he did not back down. Tinsley's investigation, it started peeling back the layers. He demanded financial records, bank statements, phone records, and what he found was shocking. Alex Murdaugh was drowning, not in guilt, not in grief, in debt. He had been stealing money for years, millions of dollars, from clients, from his law firm, from anyone he could. He had a gambling problem, a drug problem, a lying problem. And the boat crash, it was going to expose everything. He had to stop it. He had to protect the dynasty, no matter what. June 7th, 2021, Moselle, The Murdaugh family hunting estate, 600 acres of South Carolina wilderness, deer, alligators, the quiet of the swamp. Maggie and Paul Murdaugh drove to Moselle that evening. They were there to visit Alex. They had no idea. They would never leave. That night, shots rang out through the trees, 2 gunshots, then silence. Maggie was found first. She was lying near the dog kennels, shot multiple times, including a shot to the back of the head, execution style. Paul was found nearby, lying in the grass. His body was riddled with bullets. 1 shot to the head, 1 shot to the back. 2 murders, 2 people, the same person, a mother, a son, gunned down on their own property. Alex Murdaugh, he called 911. His voice was panicked, desperate, grieving. He told the operator he found them. He told the operator someone killed his wife and son. He told the operator he was coming home from visiting his dying father. He told the operator he had no idea who did this. He was the grieving husband, the heartbroken father, the victim, but something did not add up. The 911 call, it was the first piece of the puzzle. Alex Murdaugh's voice, shaking, sobbing, begging for help. But something was wrong. He said he had been visiting his dying father. He said he had been gone for hours, but the timeline did not match. Police arrived at Moselle. They found Maggie and Paul, brutally murdered, lying in the grass. They found shell casings, 2 different weapons, a shotgun, an assault rifle. Someone had come prepared. Someone had planned this. Alex was questioned. He told detectives he was at his father's house. He said he was there from 9 p.m. until 10 p.m. He said he came home and found the bodies. But his phone told a different story. Location data, cell tower pings, step counters. His phone was at Moselle at the exact time of the murders. His phone was there, at the dog kennels, where Paul was killed. The prosecutors knew. The police knew. Alex was lying. But why? Why would a father kill his own son? Why would a husband kill his own wife? What could possibly justify such horror? The answer was simple: money, power, and a secret that was about to destroy everything. The investigation expanded. Detectives started looking into Alex's finances. What they found was staggering. He had stolen money for years, from clients, people who trusted him, from his own law firm, the firm his grandfather built, from everyone. He stole millions. He stole from the sons of his dead housekeeper. He stole from a family whose child had been paralyzed. He stole from a man who had been shot in the head. He stole from the vulnerable, the grieving, the helpless. He stole, and he never stopped. Gloria Satterfield, the Murdaugh family housekeeper. She had worked for the family for decades. She was more than an employee. She was family. She helped raise Buster and Paul. She loved them. They loved her. And then, she died. In 2018, Gloria tripped and fell at the Murdaugh home. She hit her head. She never woke up. It was ruled an accident. But Alex, he saw an opportunity. After Gloria's death, Alex orchestrated a scheme. He convinced Gloria's sons to let him handle the estate. He told them he would get them justice. He told them he would get them money. But he lied. He stole $4.3 million, meant for Gloria's sons. He kept it for himself. He spent it on drugs, gambling, his lifestyle, and Gloria's sons got nothing. The scheme was exposed during the investigation, but it was just the beginning. Alex had been stealing from his law firm for years. He had been stealing from clients for years. He had stolen more than $8 million. And he was about to get caught. The boat crash, the lawsuit, the pressure, it was all closing in. And Alex, he had to find a way out. June 7th, 2021. The night of the murders, Alex Murdaugh's father, Randolph Murdaugh III, was dying. His health was failing. He had months left. The family patriarch, the man who built the dynasty, Alex was losing him. And he was about to lose everything else. He was facing financial ruin. He was facing exposure. He was facing prison. He could not let that happen. A Murdaugh in prison? Impossible. Unthinkable. He had to protect the dynasty, at any cost. The prosecution built their case. They had the cell phone data. They had the kennel video, a video from Paul's phone recorded at 8:44 p.m. In the video, voices are heard: Paul's voice, Maggie's voice, and Alex's voice. Alex was there, at the kennels, with his wife and son, minutes before they were murdered. The video proved he was lying. He said he was at his father's house, but he was not. He was right there, with them, and then they were dead. The trial began, January 2023, a small courtroom in Walterboro, South Carolina. The world was watching. Alex Murdaugh, the man who was once the law, now stood accused of breaking it, charged with 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of possession of a weapon during a violent crime. He pleaded not guilty. He said he did not do it. He said someone else killed his wife and son. He said he loved them too much, but the evidence said otherwise. The prosecution presented their case, dramatic, emotional, relentless. They showed the kennel video, they showed the cell phone data, they showed the financial records, they showed the lies, one lie after another, after another, after another. The most dramatic moment of the trial came when Alex Murdaugh took the stand. He walked to the witness box. He raised his right hand. He swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. For 6 days, he sat there. He answered questions. He told his story. He cried. He sobbed. He begged. He told the jury he loved his wife and son. He told them he would never hurt them. He told them he was innocent. But the prosecutor, Crichton Waters, had other plans. Waters stood up. He walked toward Alex. He did not raise his voice. He did not attack. He simply asked questions. Mr. Murdaugh, you lied to law enforcement, didn't you? Mr. Murdaugh, you stole from your clients, didn't you? Mr. Murdaugh, you took money from a family whose child was paralyzed, didn't you? Alex had no answers. He could only agree. Mr. Murdaugh, you stole from Gloria Satterfield's sons? Yes. You defrauded them of millions? Yes. You lied to their faces? Yes. Mr. Murdaugh, you are a liar, aren't you? Yes. The courtroom went silent. Alex Murdaugh, the most powerful lawyer in South Carolina, had just admitted it. He was a liar. But Waters was not finished. You manipulated your wife, didn't you? You manipulated your sons? Mr. Murdaugh, you have lied to everyone you love, haven't you? Yes. And you were lying. About the night of the murders? No. You were there. At the kennels. With your wife and son. No. We have the video, Mr. Murdaugh. Your voice is on it. I don't remember. You don't remember? No. You don't remember being with them? No. Minutes before they were killed? No. You were there, Mr. Murdaugh, and you killed them. No, I would never hurt them. Mr. Murdaugh, you've lied about everything else. Why should we believe you now? Alex had no answer. The kennel video was played for the jury. Paul's phone, recorded at 8:44 p.m., voices in the background, Paul's voice, Maggie's voice, and Alex's voice. The video lasted just minutes, but it was enough. It proved Alex was there. It proved he was with them. It proved he was lying. The jury watched the video. They listened to the voices. They heard a family laughing, talking, together. Minutes later, 2 of them were dead. And Alex walked away. The defense tried to argue. They said the video was not conclusive. They said Alex could have left before the murders. They said someone else could have done it. But the evidence was overwhelming. Alex's phone, the location data, the step counter, his phone was at the kennels. His phone was moving. His phone was walking toward the house, walking away from the bodies. Alex's alibi fell apart. He said he was at his father's house from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., but his father's caretaker testified. She said Alex was not there. She said he arrived after 10 p.m. She said he was alone. She said he was sweating, agitated, nervous. She said he asked for a fresh pair of pants. Why did he need fresh pants? What was on his pants? Was it blood? The prosecution presented the motive. Money. Alex was drowning in debt. He was about to be exposed. The boat crash lawsuit. It was going to uncover everything. The stolen money, the fraud, the lies. He was going to lose his law license. He was going to go to prison. He had to stop it by any means necessary. The murders. They served a purpose. They bought him time. They created sympathy. People felt sorry for him. Poor Alex. Lost his wife and son. So tragic. But tragedy can be manufactured. The timing, it was too convenient. Maggie and Paul were killed, right when Alex needed a distraction, right when the walls were closing in. The prosecution argued, Alex killed them to save himself, to protect the dynasty. The defense painted a different picture. They said Alex was a loving father, a devoted husband. They said he was destroyed by grief. They said he was grieving, right now. But the prosecution showed photographs. Alex smiling, just days after the murders. Alex laughing at his father's funeral. Alex in a hotel room, hours after he found his wife's body. He was not grieving. He was relieved. The trial continued for weeks, witness after witness, piece after piece of evidence. Alex's financial crimes were laid bare, the stolen millions, the betrayed clients, the destroyed lives. Every lie he ever told was exposed. Every scheme he ever orchestrated was revealed. The mask came off. Buster Murdaugh took the stand. Alex's eldest son, the survivor. He sat in the witness box. His hands were trembling. He had lost his mother, his brother, and now he was about to testify against his father. The cameras were rolling. The world was watching. He looked at Alex, his father, the man who raised him, and he spoke. I love my father, he said, but I also love the truth. The courtroom went silent. Buster had been the one person, the only person, who still believed in Alex. He had stood by him, defended him, protected him, but now he had to tell the truth. The prosecution asked him about the gun that was used to kill Maggie and Paul, Buster's gun. He gave it to me, Buster said, on the morning after the murders. What time? Early, very early. Before the bodies were found? Yes. Before you knew your mother and brother were dead? Yes. The implication was clear. Alex had taken the gun, the murder weapon, and given it to Buster. He had hidden the evidence. He had used his son to cover up the crime. Buster did not know. He thought his father was just being careful. But now, he knew. His father had used him. His father had lied to him. His father had killed his mother and brother. And he was about to go to prison for the rest of his life. The defense tried to salvage something. They called witnesses, character witnesses, people who had known Alex for decades. They said he was a good man, a loving father, a devoted husband. But the prosecution, they had a different witness, a witness that Alex himself had created. His own words. Alex had given a statement to police, the day after the murders. He told them he had been at the kennels that night. He told them he had seen Paul and Maggie. He told them he had held them as they died. But that was a lie. He was not at the kennels when they died. He was inside the house, changing his clothes, washing his hands. He had left them there, bleeding in the grass, and he had walked away. The prosecution played the statement. Alex's voice filled the courtroom. I found them, he said. I held them. I tried to save them. But the video, the evidence, it contradicted everything. He was not there. He was lying. And the jury, they could hear it. They could hear the lies. They could hear the manipulation. They could hear the monster. The defense gave their closing argument. They said there was reasonable doubt. They said someone else could have done it. They said the police had rushed to judgment. But the prosecution, they had the final word. Creighton Waters stood before the jury. He looked at each of them, one by one, and he told them the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, he said, Alex Murdaugh is a liar. He has lied to everyone, his family, his friends, his clients, the police, the courts. He has lied to everyone he has ever met. And he is lying to you right now. He killed his wife. He killed his son. He did it to save himself. He did it to protect his money. He did it because he is a coward. The jury left the courtroom. They spent 3 hours deliberating. 3 hours to decide the fate of a man who once controlled the law. 3 hours to decide if a father could kill his own family. The world waited. The media waited. Jessica, Mallory's mother, waited. Buster, the surviving son, waited. And Alex Murdaugh waited. The jury returned. The courtroom was packed. The tension was unbearable. Alex stood up. His hands were shaking. His face was pale. The judge looked at the jury. "Have you reached a verdict?" he asked. The foreman stood. "Yes, Your Honor," he said. The foreman handed the verdict form to the clerk. The clerk read the words. "On the charge of murder of Maggie Murdaugh, guilty. On the charge of murder of Paul Murdaugh, guilty." The courtroom erupted. Gasps, cries, whispers. Alex collapsed into his chair. His face was blank. His eyes were hollow. He had lost. He had lost everything. Buster sat in the front row. He was crying. His shoulders were shaking. He had just watched his father, the man who raised him, be convicted of killing his mother and brother. Jessica sat behind him. She was crying too. Not for Alex, not for the Murdaughs, for her daughter, for Mallory. Justice had finally come. Alex was sentenced to life in prison. 2 life sentences, without the possibility of parole. He would die in prison. The Murdaugh dynasty was over. Judge Clifton Newman delivered the sentence. He looked at Alex. He spoke with a trembling voice. "It's been said by many," the judge said. "Your wife and son visited you the last time. They are visiting you now, every day. The ghosts will always be with you." Alex stood. He said nothing. He was led away, in handcuffs. The man who once controlled the law was now its prisoner. Alex Murdaugh is behind bars now, serving 2 life sentences. He will never walk free again. He will never see his family again. He will never practice law again. The dynasty is over. But the story does not end here. The consequences, they ripple outward. Corey Fleming, Alex's best friend, his partner in crime, he helped steal $4.3 million from Gloria Satterfield's sons. He was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison. Russell Lafitte, the banker, the enabler, he helped Alex steal more than $1.8 million from vulnerable clients. He was sentenced to 13 years in federal prison. Curtis Eddie Smith, the drug dealer, the accomplice. He helped Alex steal millions and participated in the botched suicide-for-hire scheme. He is still awaiting trial. The boat crash trial, it finally happened. Paul Murdaugh was dead. He could not stand trial, but his estate was held accountable. The Beach family, they finally got justice. Mallory's mother, Jessica, she stood in the courtroom. She looked at the Murdaugh family. She looked at Buster, the only one left, and she spoke. "I miss my daughter every single day," she said. "She was taken from me by a drunk driver, a Murdaugh. Now, they are finally paying the price. The law firm that the Murdaughs built for a century, is gone. It collapsed under the weight of the scandal. The name Murdaugh is now synonymous with murder, fraud, and betrayal. No one will ever trust it again. The dynasty that controlled the Low Country for 100 years, destroyed. In just 3 years, all because of one man, his addiction, his greed, his lies. Buster Murdaugh, the surviving son, is trying to rebuild his life. He lost his mother, he lost his brother, he lost his father, he lost his family name. He is alone now, the only one left. He told reporters, "My father is not the man I thought he was. I will never forgive him for what he did to my family. I will never forgive him for what he did to me. I have to move forward. I have to survive." Professor Patricia Eddings, she watched from the university. She had taught her students about the justice system. She had taught them about evidence, about truth, about accountability. She watched the Murdaugh trial. She watched a dynasty fall. She told her students, "This is what happens when power goes unchecked. This is what happens when people think they are above the law. No one is above the law. Not even a Murdaugh. The Low Country. It will never be the same. The Murdaugh name, once respected, now reviled. The courthouses, once controlled, now free. The people, once afraid, now empowered. Justice finally came, late, but not too late. Maggie, killed by the man who promised to love her. Paul, killed by the man who raised him. Mallory, killed by the son who never took responsibility. Gloria, killed by the fall that Alex turned into a scheme, and Alex killed them all. But here is the truth. Alex Murdaugh did not just kill his wife and son. He killed the dynasty. He killed the legacy. He killed everything his family built for 4 generations. He did it with his lies, his addiction, his greed, his desperation. He did it because he could not face the truth. He did it because he was a coward. The judge's words still echo. Your wife and son visited you the last time. They are visiting you now. Every day. The ghosts will always be with you. And they are. Maggie, Paul, Mallory, Gloria. They are all there. In his cell. In his mind. In his dreams. They will never leave him. Alex Murdaugh sits in a prison cell. He is alone now. No power, no money, no protection. He is just a man who killed his family, a man who destroyed a dynasty, a man who will die in prison, forgotten. The Murdaugh name, once feared, now laughed at. The Murdaugh legacy, once powerful, now ashes. The Murdaugh dynasty is dead. But there is a lesson here. Power does not protect you. Money does not protect you. Fame does not protect you. The truth will always come out, no matter how long it takes, no matter how powerful you are. The truth always wins. Alex Murdaugh learned that, and now he is paying for it, every day, for the rest of his life. Jessica Roberts, Mallory's mother, she is still grieving. She will never stop missing her daughter. She will never get her back, but she has something she never had before: justice. She knows her daughter's killer was held accountable. She knows the family that protected him is gone. She knows the system worked. She tells other families, never give up hope, never stop fighting. Justice is possible, even when it seems impossible. Even when the system seems broken, it can work. It did work. For Mallory, Buster Murdaugh, he is still trying to heal. He has been through so much. He lost everything, but he is still standing. He told his friends, I will not let my father destroy me. I will not let his choices define me. I will build my own life. I will be better. I will be different. I will break the cycle. The Murdaugh story. It is not just about one family. It is about America. It is about power, privilege, accountability. It is about how the powerful can fall, how the mighty can crumble, how the truth will always set you free. Even if it takes years, even if it takes decades, even if it takes a lifetime. Alex Murdaugh will spend the rest of his life in prison. He will never see the outside world again. He will never hold his family again. He will never practice law again. He will never be a Murdaugh ever again. The dynasty is dead, and the ghosts will never let him forget. Maggie and Paul, they are gone, but they are not forgotten. They are remembered by those who loved them. They are remembered by those who seek justice. They are remembered by the truth. Gloria, she is not forgotten. Mallory, she is not forgotten. All the victims, they are not forgotten. Because justice remembers, and justice always wins. The courtroom is empty now. The cameras are gone. The world has moved on. But the story, it will never be forgotten. The story of a dynasty that killed to survive. The story of a man who destroyed everything he loved. The story of a family that fell from grace. And the story of justice that finally prevailed. Alex Murdaugh is in prison. The dynasty is over. The truth is finally free, and the ghosts, they will always be with him. Maggie, Paul, Mallory, Gloria, they are watching, they are waiting, and they will never let him forget.